alone today. I am just popping in really quick today to let you guys know to choose you first. So that's the title of this message because God is really saying in this season that you should always be choosing you first, right? All right, now. So I'm gonna let a couple more people get on in here. I'm just gonna go down the whole little rundown or what have you. I know a lot of people been like, girl, where you been? What you been up to, girl? You know what I'm saying? And hey, listen, when God calls you to put you first and to choose you first, because choosing is a decision, right? The choices that you made yesterday is a direct result of what you have in your life today, right? So, choosing you first is the best thing that you could ever do. Hey, honey, how are you? So that's what we talking about today because a lot of times we can get it confused that we feel like choosing us first. You're like, oh, I do that already. I already choose myself. I do what I want to do. I go where I want to go. I'm choosing me. But sometimes choosing you first could also include boundaries for yourself. Not just boundaries that you have in place for other people, but boundaries that you have in place for yourself as well, right? It's being dedicated, being organized, being submissive to God. That's the first thing. You got to be submissive to the God in you first in order to have a life that flows so smooth. Yes, yes, we are. We still doing it tonight. 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I mean, Eastern Standard Time. Okay, all right. I cannot wait to hear from you today. Yes. So we're going to choose us first, y'all. The goal of today is to choose you first, no matter what, right? And listen, choosing you when it comes to setting boundaries for yourself, you got to make sure you stay on schedule. You got to make sure you adhere to certain things. You got to make sure you move strategically, right? According to the voice of the Lord. So that's choosing you first. That's choosing you first means you're doing stuff that you know you need to do, not just things that you want to do, right? So when you doing things that you need to do versus things that you want to do, that's when you really choosing you. Okay? That's when you're really choosing you because you're making sure that your detrimental needs that's going to affect your tomorrow are taken care of today, right? You're going to make sure that everything in your power, mind you, now there's your power and then there's God's power. So everything that God has given you authority to do, you must take action and do that, choosing you first, right? He's giving you a plan, instilling it in you through the Holy Spirit that's within inside you. And you have to take that plan and strategically put basically like a project management over your life. That's how you got to do. You got to have a full project management schedule over your life. It's just the same as if you plan a trip. Say you plan a trip somewhere. I don't know about y'all, but me personally, when I plan a trip, I got to get full deep into the details. I can't just go on vacation. Hey, good afternoon. I can't just show up on vacation, like think about it, and then miraculously I'm appearing on the beach. No, you can't do that. You gotta strategically put yourself in alignment to be able to go on that vacation. Hey. So when you put yourself in alignment, what you're doing is you're checking the prices, right? Hey, India. So you're checking the prices of the flights, the hotel, the transportation that you're gonna need while you're there. The price of the food that it's gonna cost you over the duration of the time that you are there. You have to make sure that not only you book the stuff, right? Now you gotta have a whole itinerary together for this trip. So when you planning this trip, you gotta make sure you know if you're gonna be on what, Groupon, saving you some coins, planning this trip on Groupon, or is you gonna pay for it when you get there? You gonna pay for it online? You gonna have everything taken care of? Like I'm down to the science with it, okay? But it requires organization. You don't just plan a trip and end up there. There's project management that you have to put in position when you're planning something out. And it's the same when you plan out your life, okay? When you planning out your life, you have to make sure that your life is organized in such a way that is conducive to you being able to go back to it and maintain it. See, it's easy to organize a space, right? It's easy to do something at one time, but to maintain that organization within your life to help you flow and to help you be stress free, because really we put ourselves in more stressful situations when we don't choose us. And choosing us can consist of making that organizational list in order to be greater than we were yesterday, in order to grow. Complacency is easy, it requires no work, right? But in order to grow and in order to get the prayers answered that we need in our next season, we have to focus on becoming. And focusing on becoming is part of God saying to govern yourself. You have to govern yourself. So when you're governing yourself, you're not just feeding your flesh and not your spirit. You have to provide time, right? God gives us free will, no doubt about it. And that's the beauty of everything. God gives us free will to do whatever we choose to do. But when you're walking in alignment and you're not focused on the struggles and the stresses of life that you cannot control, now you have time to really worship Him for who He is. Now you have time to really go into God and be like, look, I trust and I lean and I depend on you. And that's part of choosing you first, because you recognize that the God in you is connected to the God of all things, the great creator, okay? You're not fighting against your creator, your maker. You're going to open up that manual, that Bible, okay? And you're going to study that word in order to know how you are supposed to fully function and operate on this realm. You can choose to, or you can choose to just bump your head along the road as you go. But no matter what, when you choosing you, you just have to make sure that you're showing up in your life every single day as the main character. You cannot show up in your life as side energy character, okay? You can't show up as the person, the stunt double, okay? You can't show up as a person that's not in that main role. This is your life. You get to make that decision. And we could say we be good to everybody else, but that's what we're really choosing. We're choosing everybody else over us when we show up for other people constantly, but fail to show up for ourselves. Hey, that's what happens. We fail to show up for ourselves because we want to be such a good person for other people. We want to be such a great person in other people's eyes, right? Instead of being great in the eyes of God and being pleasing to God, we want to make sure that we're pleasing man. So we can put things that we deem priority on the back burner. I'm gonna give you a specific instance. I had a gentleman that was supposed to meet me, right, in the afternoon. He called and he said, hey, can I meet you in the morning time? Now, because I already had things set up and in place, and it wasn't nothing major, but it was major to me because it was things that I prioritized as part of taking care of me first. Right? So now I'm either going to be put in a position to rush and put myself to the side to appease this man's time schedule when he on the clock so for 8 hours, okay? Or I'm going to say, no, I am unable to do that at this time, and we're going to stick to the regular schedule program because I had filled up my schedule and did other things, right? So it's about choosing you because you're appeasing and accommodating everybody else's schedule, but is yours getting appeased and are you being taken care of mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? Are you being taken care of? Who's taking care of you? Who's maintaining your emotional well-being? Who's maintaining your spiritual well-being? You have to choose you first. And it's nothing to do with material things. It's everything to do with making yourself a better person so that you can be better for those that's around you. If you not good, ain't nobody around you gonna be good. It's all gonna be tainted meat, tainted fruit, right? One rotten apple can spoil the whole bunch. So if you choose to wake up every day and be a rotten apple, you're going to spoil the bunch of apples that's around you, the people that's in your circle that God has put for you to be around in that season or however long, you know. But you got to make sure that you choose you first. So when you show up for everybody else, your cup is running over. Your cup is not depleted. So if that means taking time away from everything and going within, and I know it could be hard to go within and deal with yourself. I know it could be hard to go within and listen to your thoughts as they just play out. So we tend to walk through life and make unconscious decisions because we're not willing to sit with ourselves long enough to hear ourselves. If the room get too quiet, we got to turn the TV on, we got to turn the radio on, we got to turn on social media and go scrolling. We got to preoccupy our minds instead of just being. Oh, hey, Tiana. Just wake up every day and be. Just choose to be you. Choose to operate in the best version of yourself. We are put here on this earth to have an Adam and Eve experience that they failed to have because they wanted to operate in their flesh. They didn't feed their spirit. Because if they just fed their spirit, when that test came up, when that serpent came to Eve, she would have been equipped enough, right? Because we supposed to be these praying women. She's supposed to been equipped enough to know to ward off that enemy when she seen them coming, right? Because women got the good gifts that God gave us, and men got them too. I ain't denying y'all of y'all gifts. But women have these good gifts that we know, like we just know what we know, that gut feeling, that, the intuition, whatever it is, the Holy Spirit, we all got it. But women are just a little more good with it, right? So when we have that, and we don't use that discernment, right? And we don't take action and move strategically along in accordance with what we are feeling led to do, and we go against the grain, we cause more headache, heartache, and the Bible already say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It's one thing when God strategically places you in a certain place in the dark, in the valley of the shadow of death. That's one thing, because you know that He's not going to let your foot stumble. But it's a whole nother thing when you taking the time to go through the valley of the shadow of death because you don't want to do what you got to do on your part to make sure that you grow the way that you are intended to grow on this realm, right? So you want to make sure that everything you're doing is in alignment. So when the storms come up against us, it's not going for against us. It's for us, right? Because God made it happen for that specific reason. And the outcome is for His will to be done. And He's going to get the glory out of the situation. So when you know that God's intention is to get the glory out of a situation every single time He show up in your life, allow God to be the architect, the builder of your life, to where you're growing so much. I mean, I know y'all got haters. I know y'all got people that y'all done had to cut off. So why not let God build you up in that way instead of keep coming to burn to put out the fires that you keep starting? Allow God to build in your life and really show and be an example of who He is in your life, showing how He really shows up. Because He show up in everybody's life putting out fires. But do He really show up in everybody's life and just turn it around so good and put you really at a table, He preparing that table before you in the presence of your enemies? Like, are you looking at the people who are living it? Not a lot of people are willing to travel that road. So I know that it's hard. When you don't have an example and you're going through life and you just trying to figure out what is going on. What is happening today? I know I done started my day off real good. Now it done flipped the switch. See, you got to maintain in that spiritual place where you can recognize it. Devil, you sneaky, sly fox, right? No, you're not about to do that, devil. You gonna head back over there to the pits of hell where you come from and don't return, right? Because see, the weapon may form, but it'll never prosper because you're staying in that spiritual place. You're emotionally balanced to where you can really take a look at what's going on in your life, what is happening, and how God is going to get the greater good for it to make it work out in your good. Because He ain't gonna make you look silly. He ain't gonna make you look crazy, dumb, nothing, all right? So you just got to put that to the side and just know, all right, Lord, what's up? What's next? Who's next? You just out here attacking demons, all right? You just knocking them to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Because you are doing what you have to do to put you first to make sure that you understand. It's just like being a parent, right? When you're a parent, that's your first go around. You don't really know what you're doing. You're trying to figure it out on your own. You grown now. I'm grown. I don't need nobody tell me what to do and whoop the whoop. And that's how we went from a village raising children to don't tell my child what to do. Don't say nothing to my kid. You can't scold and pressurize my kid, right? So what happens is when you going through that process, you're learning how to be a parent. But when you become a grandparent, baby, that's your do-over. That's where you learned everything that you had to do as a parent. Now you're mastering how to do it the better way that you saw fit, that you wasn't able to do the first go around, right? That's the same thing in life. When you're going through life and you realize you made a mistake or you did something a way that wasn't healthy to you, that wasn't really conducive to your situation, and you messed up. You stumbled a little bit. That's it. That's cool. You got to learn from that mistake and recognize, I don't want to do it again, or else you're going to be repeating cycles. Who want to keep repeating cycles? So the best thing to do is stay organized. It helps combat depression. When you putting yourself first and you keeping your life organized, maintaining organization, not just organizing your life, but maintaining the organization on a daily basis, right? So that means if you have a schedule and you know you want to get up every morning, this is an organizational schedule that you got in place, a routine. Your habits are your routine. So what are you getting up every day doing? What are you making sure that you do that for you first? Okay? Well, how are you putting you at the beginning of your day when you got the most energy? The energy is within you. Are you going to give it to everybody else first? I ain't saying about the job. I ain't going to speak on that. That's your business if y'all got to go to work and give your boss your energy. But what I am saying is that even if in that situation where you have to go to work and give your boss and your job the energy, the best energy of the day, at least wake up a little earlier and choose to put you first. Right? That way, whatever you give to the world in that day, you're giving from a place of gratitude. You control your day versus allowing your day to control you, and then you want to call out to God, Lord, what's going on? Oh my goodness, I don't know what happened. It just switched in the blink of an eye, like everything was smooth and going together under control. But when you already prepared for the storm ahead of time because you was listening to the voice of God, because He's gonna show you how to get through it before you get to it. You just have to be aware spiritually, emotionally, to be able to know when that storm is near. That's what storm trackers do. They know when the storms are near in their life. And when the storms appear, they can brace themselves. They can hunker down. That's what they do in Florida. When they had them hurricanes and all of that stuff, they hunker down. They get the weighted sand or whatever and put down at the bottom of their house. They got houses that specifically built with things underground so the water can go under the house and not destroy the house. They got to board up their house, their businesses, and everything else, right? They are preparing for the storms in their life. And if God is like a school, this earth is like a school where God is the teacher, and he doesn't appear to you in a physical form. He appears to you spiritually. So therefore, you got to be in tune spiritually. Therefore, you got to maintain your spiritual, your mental and your spiritual, right? And if you haven't maintained it, it's time for a checkup. It's time for an emotional checkup to make sure that you're not acting out of emotion, but that you're acting out of logic. You're processing your emotions to a place where you can say, all right, was it really that bad? Was it really that deep? Okay, it's about problem solving. See, school taught us things that we think we didn't need. Oh, I ain't need them words in school. I ain't need to know that math in school. Baby, you needed the problem solving skills. You needed the comprehension skills. Comprehend what someone's saying. You want people to comprehend what you're saying and what you're doing so that there's no misunderstanding, right? So there's different levels that you got to learn in this earthly realm, school, university, life university, in order to have that Adam and Eve experience. I'm telling you. When your life is balanced, that's because you're choosing you. If you're not choosing you first, your hormones get out of whack, you fall into depression, you're trying to pick up the pieces, and now you done sat depressed in a dark room for 3 days, and you got dishes piled up, you got garbage everywhere, you're doing things that you normally wouldn't do, you're trying to sleep all day, for real. That's probably what's going on. But it's really because your life is out of order. And all you got to do is take a step, one step at a time to get your life back on track. And don't go putting it out there for nobody else to know. It's nobody else's business. We can't even get mad at other people in this season if they are around here still telling your business. And I mean your current business, okay? Because if they're telling your current business and it's because you're talking. If you talking to them, to fleshly humans, you get what I'm saying? Then that means, which the Bible refers to as the Son of Man, that means you're not talking to the Son of God. That means you're not talking to your spiritual man, the inner God that God placed on the inside of you. You're not talking to it, communicating with it. You're not operating with it, so you don't trust your own instincts. It's not yours. It's what God put inside of you through the Holy Spirit. You got to be able to trust that. And when you trust that and you know what you know, and then you stand on God's word because you know how he done showed up for you every single time before, baby, it ain't nothing that nobody else can tell you. So I ain't even about to ask you your opinion about the situation at hand, because God's thoughts is not our thoughts, and his ways are not our ways. So what am I asking you for on a humanly level when you can't even figure out your own life over there and what you doing? I'm going to go follow what God is telling me to do, because he's really trying to bring you back to balance. He's trying to bring you back to a place of what you was really put here and intended to do, which was to help others. We feel so much better when we help others, right? But in order to help somebody else, we have to be able to help our mental, help our emotional, help our spiritual, help our physical. If we don't even want to walk away from the types of food, the diets that we eat, what is the purpose? We can't help somebody else. We have to master ourselves, govern ourselves, and it requires change, one step at a time. You ain't got to do everything all at once and go into overload and be like, "Oop, I'm not doing it no more. I give up. I quit," and then you go back to where you was. No. Gradual change is small. It's small steps. It's like this. Okay, so when I talk about organization, y'all, I love it. I love organization, right? Okay, I changed my whole setup. Y'all see the y'all catch the vibes, right? But when you talk about organization, there are so many different ways that you can become organized in your life when you're putting you first, right? You can have a budget a spreadsheet. You can have a bill expense spreadsheet. You can have a chore chart, right? You can have a list of the different things that you have in place. It's not saying to put it all in place at one time. You start where you can. And when I started out doing that, baby, to get my life on track, guess what? I only started with a to-do list. Writing it down, that to-do list. Once I got better with that to-do list, then I said, oh, let me go ahead and write my daily or my weekly. You know what I mean? What I got to do this week now. And then I go on and I make a weekly to-do list of what needs to be done. Now I realize I go grocery shopping once a week, right? So I got to go make a grocery list. And then I want to know what I'm going to eat this week, because I'm tired of eating the same thing over and over and over again. It's getting repetitive. We got so many apps out here that can tell you how to cook a meal, what good meals it is to cook, and it's all for free, right? If you're going to spend your time scrolling, it might as well be for your best usage. Let me slow down a little bit, right? So what you gonna do? You gonna go on there and find some good meals that you can make. Maybe meals that stretch if you're tight on money. Meals that or if you don't want to cook every day, right? So you finding meals that may stretch, that can last 2-3 days where you ain't gotta cook, right? You creating balance in your life through your habits, creating these routines, and then you only doing that once a week. It take 5 minutes, right? Maybe 10. You writing out that grocery list of the ingredients you gonna need. You gonna write out that grocery list of the things that you may not have have already that you need to go get, right? So you done master that list, the grocery shopping list, and then you've mastered the meal prep, the meal idea list, right, for the week. So now you changing it up. You able to know what you're cooking, so it ain't like when you get home from work, I got to take something out for dinner. What we gonna eat? Oh well, might as well spend some money and eat out. Nah. Let's get it together. Get back organized. Get back on track. You know what I mean? Because it helps your life flow so much smoother. Putting you first makes everything around you just spread like butter, baby. It's spread like butter. Okay? And it's contagious. And then when you get that real dopamine effect from doing what you're supposed to do, you feel so good about it that you chase it and you want more. It's just like that sugar craving. Like sugar, for real, is like the number one drug in the world. Okay, sugar is the number one drug, and when we chase the sugar, we need more of it because your body start craving more. Oh, I want to just give me a pop. Let me just get some snacks. Let me just get a little piece of candy. You start off there, and then now you doing this as a habit, and you're unconsciously doing it, and you steady putting this stuff in your body that's preventing you from operating on a higher level realm for your life, on a higher frequency, right? It keeps you at a low vibrational place. So that's why it's important to start with your diet, because when you starting with your diet, choosing you first through your diet will help you to make clear, conscious decisions that are beneficial to you. They're not decisions that you're like, I didn't think that well through. I didn't. It's not those type anymore, because now your head is clear enough to say, no, I know exactly what it is that I got to do. I know exactly what it is where I'm trying to go. And I got to get there. You know what I mean? So it's about choosing you, y'all. Creating those lists, and as you master the one, you add the second. As you master the second, add a third. Whatever type of list it is, it's even down to keeping a spreadsheet of all of the, you know what I mean, Excel spreadsheets. If y'all worked in the office, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you ever worked in the office, you know all them lists y'all got to have. So it's easy to do it for your life once you are accustomed to doing it and adding it in and purposely adding it in. Not just doing it. You want to do it for like a week or two, right? I don't know. I know a lot of people always say like it takes 21 days to form a habit. No, it don't. I don't think so. That's just my opinion, though. I don't feel like it takes 21 days to form a habit. I believe it requires just a split decision in an instinct. In that moment, you make a choice and you say, nope, not no more. I ain't taking it no more. I'm going to take back control of my life. I'm going to bring balance back into my world. I'm going to choose me. No, you make a decision. And it might feel scary at the beginning. So let's just say you making a decision to now set up boundaries with other people where you're telling other people no. And you're telling other people no without really no explanation. Because the explanation is a lie. You about to think of something to say, well, I know because, and you thinking of something to say. No, I don't want to do that because, no, ain't no because behind no. It's a complete sentence. So once you master telling others no in order to put yourself first, it's scary at first, but as you do it, it's like, okay, no, I can't do that. Now you're going to have other people asking you, well, why you can't do that? Because I said no. You ain't even got to lie. Because I said no. Because that's what I said, and I said what I said, and I meant what I said. I said, hey, back up off me. I ain't crossing your boundaries. Don't cross my boundaries, okay? I said what I said. You got to get bold with your life. And that's part of putting you first. Choosing you is being bold about yourself, protecting yourself from the outside, not protecting yourself from yourself. Your body is still in flight and fight mode because it's protecting itself from you because you keep choosing everybody else over you. Choose you, baby. When you choose you first, everything gonna flow. God gonna show up in your life in a way where you can't even fathom or imagine, right? Because you've let go of all expectations. You've taken people off of pedestals in your life. You've mastered that art of just detaching from situations. Detach from things. Stop being so attached to everything. That is a real bad codependency issue when we become attached to every single thing that shows up in our life. I remember when I used to sell cars, right, y'all? And I couldn't, it was hard at first because I wanted to choose every car for myself. Oh, I want that car. Oh, I think I might, let me drive this car for, I think I like that. No, 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 no. You got a goal in mind. You got a purpose. But it was because I was getting attached to every single car that I saw coming across that was like my style, you know what I mean? But then once you realize like, no, it's not about that. It's a bigger picture here, and there's a bigger goal in mind. And when you got a bigger goal in mind, and the end result is whatever you know you want, you never gonna get there if you keep getting attached to the stuff, right? You got to bring it in, let it go through processing, get rid of it, because your goal is in mind, right? You're choosing you first. You're not choosing everything and everyone that's around you before you choose yourself. So when you get detached from it, you have no emotion when the thing has to leave your life, because we don't know who, what, when. We don't know when things are going to take place between people, places, and things, right? We don't know how long we going to be in that place, that area. We don't even know how long we going to be alive for real. But while you are in that situation, because you know that some things are here for a season, a reason, and some things last a lifetime, you have to master the art of being detached so that if it has to leave your life at a split second, you're okay with it. You've already thought about the worst that could happen, and you didn't have no high expectations for it, because the expectations come when we start working in our flesh. When we get in our mind and we start thinking about, oh, what if? We think about the what ifs in the future, the potential, right? We're looking at all of these things that it don't matter. It's not who they are. It's not what the person, place, or thing presents itself as to you in that current moment. So you cannot expect more of what than what you see. Take everything for face value. And when you start detaching from everyone else, you will start attaching yourself more to God, more to the God inside of you. You're going to choose you first automatically. But the first step in doing so is making a decision, because the decisions that you make today will be a direct result of everything that will show up in your life tomorrow and hereafter. God bless you too. Everything. So I want you to make sure that you put you first. Choose you. Because when you choose you, ultimately at the end of the day, you're able to choose others in a better way for you. That's more beneficial for you, where you're not feeling depleted, drained, or what have you, because you've put other people before you put yourself, right? So just make sure that you master choosing you first. It's not selfish, it's self-love, right? And you don't want to have no other gods before the big G, right? You don't want to have no other gods before him. So if God is on the inside of you, if he has a fragment of himself inside of you, then it's time for you to put God first. Because every time you say yes, maybe, provide an explanation because you're feeling guilty about something, or trying to people please, or trying to show up for everybody else before you show up for yourself. Are you pleased with your decisions at the end of the day? That's the whole matter. It's not about pleasing other people. It's about pleasing you. And you walk away and you feel good about your decision because you know it was for your best benefit. It's for you to become the best version of yourself. And anything that you're doing today, I want to know, do your future self look at you and be like, do we really need that in the future? Think about where you'll be in 5 years. You say you love this, you hit all points. All right, all right. Think about where you'll be in 5 years. Are the habits that you're creating and doing today, is it going to be able to have room in your life in the future? The ultimate goal that we want in life, to have a full Adam and Eve experience, is to be free. That's it. One of my kids asked me, he said, Mom, what you do all day? What be doing? And I thought about it. I'm like, just being free because I'm being me. I'm just being free. Now that I think about it, he was like, no, like, do you be like the old people where they just be chilling and doing whatever? I'm like, no. No, I would just be free. And this is the experience that the same haters in your life want because you have. You have the ability and you have shown this in your life that you are free in a specific area of your life. You just want to be free in all areas, right? But they saw this. Your haters saw a glimpse of you being free in your life. And they like, not you and me over here stressing because I got to go to work and I got to keep up with the material stuff. And now I got to go pay off this car note that I got that I can't afford. I gotta pay all of this debt that I accrued because I'm living a lifestyle I know I can't afford. I'm living beyond my means. They over there stressed out. You're living a life of freedom, of peace. You waking up every day in love and you get to consciously think about what you're doing without being rushed or flustered or running to somewhere else to appease them. Just to get enough time off to come back to do it all over again, right? Because you got a goal in mind about material stuff, which is, I gotta go, I gotta get this, I gotta have this. I don't want to be out here looking stupid if I lose this. They chasing materials that they cannot take with them. But you're chasing freedom. You're chasing God. And when you chase God, all of those things, the peace, the love, and everything gonna come to you automatically. But baby, let me tell you something. When you go to God and you're looking for love, right? Or you're looking for peace in your life, we're just gonna go with peace. When you're looking for peace, just prepare for all hell to break loose in your life. Because it is God showing you at that time of what true peace looks like and how to choose peace, because peace is a choice. So he's going to present an obstacle to you. It ain't working against you. This is how it's going to work for you. That obstacle going to come up before you in your life, and that obstacle is going to be like, what you going to choose? You going to choose violence today, or you going to choose peace today? And now we got this whole trend on the internet that's programming you. I'm choosing violence today. For what? What is it going to solve? Where's it going to lead you? It's going to destroy you. It's going to keep you in a place of lack. It's going to keep you in a place of bondage. It's going to keep you wrapped up in the same old cycle that you've been trying to get out of. In that rat race. Get out the rat race. Chase freedom. Go after God and you're going to get the freedom that you so truly desires, right? Because that's the part of the will. When you get free will, this is free will, right? God gives you the desires to make a choice on what it is that you want in life. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with that time. Do I want to wake up and honor God and give God the full reverence? Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, as much trust as I done put in man, human, whoever, any relationships that you have dealt with or encounters that you had with people, if you put that much trust in a person, imagine how much more you can put in God and he produce a return. God gonna produce a return when you put your trust and your loyalty in him. See, we always looking for loyalty for other people. We be trying to be loyal to other people. No. Choose you. Be loyal to God. Because when he gives you the free will to do what you will, and you can make a decision of, do I want to do this God's way or do I want to do this my way? Because when you fight against the grain, you're going to create all type of stuff that just don't need to. That's them fires we was talking about earlier, right? So choose God, because then that's when you'll have the true freedom to know if serving God, if worshiping God, if putting God as first, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. I want to give honor and thanks to Pastor for teaching me, and Pastor and First Lady. Okay, let me stop, y'all. Let me quit playing. But do you want to put God first because that's what you want to do? Or do you want to put God first because you feel like he going to hit you, he going to chastise you, he going to put you in the worst way? What do you think he going to do? He not going to do that. He not trying to do that. Are you trying to really do that to your kids? Huh? So why would you think that God's trying to do that to you? We always resort to that conversation before we resort to chastisement, right? And chastisement don't always include putting your hands on people, right? Sometimes chastisement could be righteous judgment aloud, out loud. You get what I mean? So just know that when you choose God, and it's because you want to, it's because you know who he is and what he is in your life. And you know that no man has surpassed what God can do for you. But when you're doing it out of fear or frustration or anger because your life has been the way that it's been and you think he just gonna come in and snap his fingers, it's not gonna work like that. It can. But that depends on how loyal you are when you show up, because most people only want what they want and they want to take a plate to go. We got. And he ain't letting you take no place to go now. Not in this season. You're going to learn a lesson of three before you take a plate to go. Okay? You're going to come back now, okay? You're going to come back in the process. So it's best to just want to do it. It's best to have the free will to do it. Don't get entertained by conversations with people that's trying to argue about who God is. They all searching, every single religion is searching for who God is on the same level. The same one true God that created everything, whether they call it source, whether they call him creator, whether they call it whatever they choose to call him. Everybody's searching for the creator of them, right? Everybody. Some people stop. And some people want to worship the creator that they think they are, the God in them. They want to worship their flesh. That other God. Kind of like the story of Cain and Abel. How Cain going against Abel. It just reminds me of the flesh. Like in your mind. Your flesh is battling with your spirit man because your flesh wants the birthright that is attained by your spirit. Yeah, they fighting battles with God they ain't even have to fight. That's right. Those are fights that we shouldn't even be wanting to fight those type of fights no more. It should be fights about how, Lord, I know if you gave me the vision this big, you're going to give me the provision. We ain't about to be sitting up here talking about, Lord, help me out the situation today. Oh, Lord, help me out of this, that I done created for myself in the past. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Lord, show me how you show up in this business, okay? Because it ain't the businesses that fail, it's the people that fail, right? Oh, show me, Lord, how you can do something bigger and greater in my life, right? Show me how you can show me that you are God, not only for myself, but for other people that I encounter, huh? That's the real true value. That's the real currency right there. The true wealth, freedom, love. That's when you're able to walk in love. You're able to walk in peace, right? Because you're deciding to choose you first, no matter what. No matter how uncomfortable it may make you feel. Usually that stuff that's good for you don't feel good, taste good, or nothing like that, right? It always got this taste, that acquired taste that you got to get used to. It's always got this, it leaves this feeling behind, but it make you feel better, right? So you may not like it in the beginning, but as you get accustomed to the new thing that you have adapted in your life, that new habit, that good habit, now you can easily get rid of that old bad habit. If you're going to get rid of an old bad habit, choose a good one in place of it. Like replace it. Don't just get rid of something. Don't just stop something. Replace it. That way it's easier to ignore it because now you're focusing on the new. It's like the kids that get the new toys at Christmas. Once they know Christmas come, they ain't playing with them toys no more. They want the new shiny toys. They have forgotten about everything of the past. They want everything that's new, and they going to play with that all day. And the toys probably sit in the room like, wow, we just got kicked to the curb. Wow, we just got pushed to the side. Right? They probably broken, probably old, outdated, huh? Just like us in our life. We have outdated beliefs. Things in our life are old now, old ways of doing things, old patterns, right? We might have outdated systems that we're working on. We might have things that we were taught that really isn't true. So we got to unlearn them and relearn it. And as you unlearning it and you relearning it, that's part of putting yourself first. That's part of genuinely choosing you. When you taking the time out to invest in yourself. Forget investing in other people and saying what you did for them and they turned out terrible. Make the true investment in yourself. I put an investment in myself, when I choose me, when I tell others no because I don't want something to be at my expense or my detriment by making sure that they're okay, they can find another way. Because guess what's going to happen? If you pass tomorrow and that person is leaning and depending on you, you think they're going to jump in the casket with you? They don't jump in caskets no more. They be partying at the funeral, baby. They don't wait till the repast. They be at the funeral like, turn up. Don't judge the way I say funeral either, okay? But they up there at the part. They having a party at the funerals today, okay? The casket be closed. They be in there doing they want to, and it's a party already. They even got the pastors up there sometime that be using the terminology that they use to get to them, and it ain't really a message about heaven. It's about job well done. It's about talking about. They had the obituary that say that this person lived a good life, knowing doggone well they didn't, right? Knowing doggone well their life was jacked up and screwed. But you in yes, you in this grave, and when the grave time come, half of them don't even show up to the grave site no more. So now they ain't even dumping the dirt on you in front of the family no more either. That's what they just act like they putting you down in there, and when you leave, I don't know what they do when you leave. They could pull it back up and re-rent the casket back out. I don't know. But guess what? Your family ain't about to go see about you and see what's being done. They ain't gonna watch the dirt getting thrown over you at a later date or what have you. They not gonna sit back and be like, oh my goodness, I gotta go with them. Let me jump inside of this grave. This is my last and final chance before they go throw the dirt on it, right? I'm going down 6 feet under, 5 feet under if they gonna be 6, okay? They not doing that for you. They're gonna find somebody else to replace what you was giving them. They're going to find somebody else to give them exactly what it is that you were giving them. They looking for another fool. We ain't got to play the fool no more, y'all. We got to show up with this main character energy, because you ain't playing nobody's fool in they movie, in they acting, whatever. You're not playing the fool in their role. You playing the main character in your own, right? So, and if you're doing that, then stop showing up for people when it's not conducive for you. The only reason they're doing it right now with you is because, guess what? They understand that you don't know your value. You haven't put a value or price on yourself to say, look, God purchased me with a price, and I ain't to be sold to y'all. I am supposed to do the Lord's will first, right? So they know that you don't understand the value that you have within inside of you, and ain't nobody else doing what you're doing. Ain't too many other people out here giving a care about what they going through. Ain't nobody else trying to help them out their situations but you. But you. Right? So if it's just you showing up for this person and they run you into the ground, run you into the ground, run you into the ground deep. They basically hooking the dirt up, creating a 6-foot grave for you. They at the grave site getting it started for you. Because you keep allowing that door to stay open so that people can keep using you, not using you, let me back that up, misusing you, right? Because we're all supposed to be here to be used by one another. It's okay to use a person, but it's not okay to misuse a person. You feel what I'm saying? Because we all need that. We all need to use somebody at a specific time in our life. So it's okay to be used, but these people are misusing you because you don't understand your value. You don't know how to say no. It's uncomfortable when you got to tell people no and without an explanation. It's uncomfortable when you don't take a phone call, but people ain't showing up and phone calling and calling you. I guarantee you, if you stop making the phone calls today, I can check back with you in 30 days and see if other people have called you and checked on you and said, hey, do you need anything? And I mean really show up for you on a grandeur scale, like showing up. Huh? Then people ain't gonna think nothing else twice about you. They gonna feel like if you're posting on social media, oh, they good, you posted, I thought everything was good. Or if you whatever have you, oh, I thought you was going through some stuff over there. I was trying to let you handle your business. They lying. Now they coming up with the excuses, right? So to save face for everybody, and it's okay if they be mad at you, because guess what? You are more beneficial for them than those people are beneficial for you. So it's okay if they cut you off, because it's all a part of God's plan. And God ain't gonna shut no door. God shuts doors that man can't open, and God opens doors that man can't shut. So if it's intended for people or places or things to be in your life, God will make sure that nothing or no one can stop them from being in your life. But you got to make a decision to choose you. You have to make a decision to show up for yourself first. Because you know what's going to happen? Slowly over time, your hormones out of whack, your mind all over the place, you stress. Now you got diseases in the body. Now you getting older, your metabolism is slowing down, and these stressors and these worries that you have failed to recognize and learn how to properly process. It's over time. Now you get this disease, this ease in your body, right? Now you getting this ease in your body. And as a direct result of the medicines that you taking, it could cause possible side effects, right? So now if you get caught up, and you one of the few that get caught up in the possible side effects of taking that medicine, now something else coming to you. Now you over here trying to fight off and heal yourself, or get healed from the diseases of your body, while constantly answering to stress the same way you've been answering it. Constantly answering to worry and fear and rejection and abandonment. You keep showing up every single time, responding in the same way. So the cycle gets repeated, and the test gets repeated over and over, because you haven't learned the lesson. It is time to move on and learn new lessons in life. Learning lessons in life is a beautiful thing, but learning the same lessons over and over because you don't want to open your eyes and see the real for what it is, that's what it's about in this life, is living in your truth. I heard somebody say the other day, you don't live in your truth. You are the biggest con artist in the world, because not only are you trying to lie to other people to avoid them from seeing the truth about you, but also you are lying to yourself and believing it. You believe in your own lie that you're telling yourself, and then you bag it up with explanation on top of explanation to make yourself feel better about tricking your own self. And that's what it is with other people. When people come along, I can see people and they be like, I always used to say back in the day, I used to be like, who you think you playing with? You trying to play me for a fool? You all remember saying stuff like that when people try you? I mean, just try you. You trying to play me for a fool? And then I had to think to myself, like, yeah, because that's what they would play on themselves, and they would fall for it. So that's why they think they can get away with it with you, because they do it to themselves. You're not tricking nobody but you. You're not tricking God, because God gave you free will. So either you could show up excited with joy and peace and love every single day, or you could just stay back where you at, keep operating in stress, fear, rejection, abandonment, anger, pride, all of the fruits that's of the flesh, right? Or you can show up with the fruits of the spirit. But it's a free will choice. So don't ever get it twisted and think that God gonna twist your hand behind your back and make you do something that you don't want to do. No, if you choose to do it, this is the requirement of how I'm going to work, because it's going to go according to my will and not your will. So you're going to have to submit, or you can go back to the same mundane lifestyle that you've been living before you encountered me, right? And usually when we go to God, it's always when stuff ain't working up or adding up working out in our life or adding up, right? It's always when we get to a place where we feel like, I can't do this no more. Lord, I need help. Okay, we think we can in the first go round when you're in your 20s, right? But then you be like, okay, I think I got enough muscle to do it again. Let me try one more time. But then when you hit and bounce harder on that ground, ooh, that head bounce like a basketball on that ground, baby. Listen, now you going back to God that second to go around. And you like, look, I ain't leaving your side, Lord. You turn into one of them old spiritual hymns, okay? You gonna stick around forever. You gonna stick around forever, baby. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa. So choose you first. It's all about what you want to do. Stop feeling like you're forced to do anything. You ain't forced to do nothing. But It will be harder when you fight against the grain. This thing called life is out of our control. The laws of the land was put here before you was even born, right? You were ordained in your mother's womb, right? Before your mother's womb. So that means you had an assignment before you even got here. There was a contract that you were supposed to fulfill, and you agreed to it to come here to do it. Now that you're here, you want to act brand new. You want to act like you don't know what's going on. I don't know. Well, I don't want to do this. I want to just be complacent for the rest of my life. No, I don't want it. But you was already ordained to do so. You was already supposed to walk that path. So, excuse me, you can either submit or you can fight against the grain. Keep trying to figure it out. Because the answer ain't going to ever come to you when you keep trying to figure it out. You just going to settle for an answer so that your head can stop hurting. You gonna settle for an answer so your head can stop hurting, and then you gonna go cut the TV on, go shopping, you turn on the music, call somebody, get on the phone and gossip and go back to the old place that you used to be because you don't want to sit with yourself. You don't want to deal with yourself. You don't want to, you ain't ready to grow because it requires work, right? It starts with the thought and then it requires action. And if you ain't willing to do the thought and the action, just stop having a thought. Through the good and bad, I always see God first and believe in my abilities second. Well, God is within you. So, yeah, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to listen to the voice of God that's within inside of you, which is the Holy Spirit, right? Which leads and directs you. That is your roadmap, your guide on this roadmap with the roadmap on this journey called life, right? And so when you listen to that Holy Spirit and you don't really understand what the Holy Spirit is leading and telling you to guiding you to do, and you do it, oh my goodness, that is perfect submission to God. But when you do what you want to do in your own fleshly way and it's according to your fleshly desires, that's when you choosing your abilities first. But when you operating on putting the God inside of you first, which is inside, spirit, then that's putting God first. So I don't want y'all to feel like religion has taught us that it's you're not supposed to be self-seeking and stuff like that, baby. Go to the Gospel of Thomas. I think it's number 3. If you go to the Gospel of Thomas, let me see. It'll tell you, govern yourself, right? So in order to govern yourself, like we all want to be led. Most people, I think about 90% of people want to be led, right? Instead of leading ourselves, they want a leader. 90% of people want a leader, so they're okay with being led. So when they have a leader in place, now it helps them to not take accountability, right? Because you got somebody else to blame, an outside force to blame. Oh, I blame it on them. They did this. No, take accountability. But in order to take accountability for your life, you have to show up for yourself. Who else is going to do it? The politicians that you go and vote for, they're not showing up at your house every day and making sure that you're doing everything that you need to do. Get up. Are you taking a shower? You got dressed? Okay, you got started. You got your day started. They're just not doing that. They're not even doing their job for real, right? They're just collecting the money and giving you false hope and dream. Whereas God put the Holy Spirit on inside of you to lead you and guide you into what He wants you to do, which is going to outlaw any and everything, right? But it requires going within because that small, still voice that's inside, it requires you to go within. You don't go to the sky, you go within. So it's okay to put you first. It's okay to seek ye first the kingdom of God. Where is the kingdom of God? Inside of you. The kingdom of heaven is right here on earth, inside of you. So you have to choose you first in order to choose God. Okay, so the Gospel of Thomas, let's see. Matter of fact, we got a little time, y'all. You say you learned it the hard way. Thank God I know now. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna just read to you a couple of the books of Thomas a little bit today, just so y'all know. And this is part of the Bible. It's just not in the Bible anymore, right? Because the Bible was written, and then it was taken, some things was taken out. It was a revised version, right? So that means things was added, taken out, and stuff like that, right? And they put what they felt they wanted you to know out in the public. But that doesn't take away from the other areas of the other Bibles, of the books of the Bible that are still present, right? And it says, and he says, whoever discovers the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. Jesus said to those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. What are you seeking? You're seeking to better yourself. You're seeking God. You're seeking how you can please God, be pleasing to God, right? When they find, they will be disturbed, huh? The truth, that's the truth. The devil don't like the truth. He don't like nothing about the truth. So when you seeking the truth, the devil gonna get upset. The devil don't want you to know the truth about you. He don't want you to walk in the truth, right? Okay, when they are disturbed, they will marvel and will reign over all. And after they have reigned, they will rest, right? So, Jesus said, if your leaders say to you, look, the Father's kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you, right? If they say to you, it is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the Father's kingdom is within you, and it is outside you, right? Everything is interconnected in this world. God is the big creator, right? He operates in the spirit realm because we can't see him physically. He's a spirit just like we are. And a fraction of his spirit is planted inside of us. Okay. Verse 3. The rest of verse 3. It says, when you know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are children of the living Father. So let's talk about knowing yourself. In order to know yourself, you have to choose you first. So knowing yourself means knowing what triggers you, and not just avoiding it and going into isolation and trying to avoid you being triggered. No, it's actually having that presented to you so that you can process it properly and go through the spiritual aspect and say, you know what, I'm going to operate on a spiritual level and I'm going to pass this test today. But I am going to grow. So if it's your first time and you're not really understanding how you can change that bad habit of not knowing or running from your triggers when you are triggered, and facing them face on and looking for the good of the opportunity, that requires you to walk in empathy, right? Sympathy is when we send our condolences. Oh, I'm praying for you. Forget about praying for you. Oh, you got my sympathy. Oh, well thoughts. How you doing today? Knowing they really don't care about how you doing. They just got to get off their chest what they got to say, right? But empathy requires that when a person really wants to know on a deeper level, how can I bring about change? Huh? How can I bring about this change so that you don't have to face this no more? It really hurts my heart to see a person going through something, or it really hurts my heart to know that we are all hurt and we all want to be loved on this earthly realm, right? So when you understand a person's position, when they are presenting you with something that is triggering you, now you can say, you know what? I see it from your position. You can put yourself in their shoes and say, you know what? I could see why you probably did that. I could see why. You unhealed. That's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say to people, right? But it takes for you to know yourself and to know your triggers, to learn how to process your triggers effectively, right? It requires for you to show up for yourself every single day so that you can maintain the balance in your life according to how you need to operate. Me personally, I just need to be organized. That's just me. I have to be. Other people can operate off the top of their head. Me, no. I got so many thoughts that I think about, and they be good thoughts too. And I really be like, God, you might want God to implant drop a jewel in your spirit about what your next move should be. And it's so strategic that if you still thinking about the stuff from yesterday and making sure that get accomplished, you can't really fully put yourself immersed into that thought of what God is putting inside of you and how to make it strategically work. You can't really focus on that because you still thinking about, I don't want to forget this back here. I don't want to forget, who was I supposed to call tomorrow? Oh, what was I supposed to do on Friday? I don't want to forget. Get that stuff out your head. Stop overworking your system. You overwork your brain. You overwork your organs. Every time you put food in your mouth that just can't process, you just overworking yourself. Stop overworking yourself and choose you first. Choosing you first can just be being. Maybe you don't want to do something. Maybe you don't want to do nothing at all. Maybe you just want to sit back and say, you know what? I want to tune the world out today, and I want to just relax and enjoy and not think about nothing. Choose you. Do it. It's okay. But make sure that you're okay with the decision that you make. Just make sure that you're okay when you lay in the bed or you scroll social media or you do something for hours and hours on end. Just make sure that you're okay with the outcome that is going to produce for you. You do what you want to do. You got free will, right, baby? God ain't gonna force you. But if you want to be a follower of God, right, a follower of Christ, as you say, know thyself, and will lead you down the path of life, not death. Remember, it said death. Okay. So it says, verse. We're gonna go read that again. It says, when you know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are children of the living Father. You are God's child. I don't know about y'all, but I see a lot of people talking about they willing to die about their kids. They willing to die about them, but they won't live for them, baby. Well, God is the living God, and he going to live for you. He ain't going to die for you because he ain't going to die, or you know what I mean? But God is going to live for you. How about that? We change that up. God is going to live for you. We can't keep grasping these concepts and these memes and stuff from the internet because it's coming from a demonic place that's supposed to keep you in a low vibrational frequency. And we pick up these habits so quick and we're regurgitating out our mouth. And now here you know, before you have it, you done spoken so much that you really believe it, and it just comes to you unconsciously. You ever sang a song and be like, why this song on my mind? You done sang it. You could heard a snippet of it yesterday. And now it's just stuck in your head. And you vibing and feeling it and grooving, right? Hurt people remember the words. I think they said happy people remember the beats. So it says, but if you do not know yourselves, then you live in poverty, and you are the poverty, okay? So if you don't know yourself, you live in poverty. If you don't know yourself, you live and operate your life on a place of lack. You believe that you can have something, but then you make up all kind of excuses when presented with it in a whole different way. You make up all type of excuses of why you don't think it should happen. You look at other people's lives and feel like why they shouldn't deserve it. It's like this. It's like, okay, let me use for instance, if you say, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to be rich, right? You say you want to be rich. Okay. So you say you want to be rich, but then when you see a rich person get a money, I'm going to use an instance where the rich person gave all of their assets and money and everything to the cat, right? So when they gave all of the stuff to the cat, everybody mad. Why he just didn't give it to charity? Why they just didn't do this with the money? Why they just didn't? How can you determine what a person is supposed to do with their money? Because if you was in a place of being rich, would you do what you felt was best with your money? Yes, that's why we got to change it and speak affirmation. You said every answer you need can be found in the Most High and His Word, not the internet. Actually, it could be found within you, honey. You don't even need the Word, for real. Because God's going to put it on the inside of those who would never even see the Word. So it's already in us. We know right from wrong. We just choose complacency every single time. But yes, we're supposed to speak those positive affirmations over our life. Exactly. So Verse 4 says, Jesus said, the person old in days won't hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life, and that person will live. So an old person going to a child asking about the place of life. He done already lived his life. But you asking about the place of life, right? For many, the first will be the last and will become a single one. All right, verse 5, it says, Jesus said, know what is in front of your face, and what is hidden from you will be disclosed to you. Now, we all got to give for discernment, right? But if you're not discerning things in your life that needs to be handled or addressed, and knowing when to move or where not to go, and you just being impatient about life, right? If you always impatient and you like, why this ain't happening right now? Well, maybe God was trying to protect you. Maybe God has something that he foreseen down the road that the enemy tried to put up against you, but you can't see it. But you so impatient because you trying to get there that you still want to go that way when God trying to stop it. God will make you fall down a flight of stairs. He'll make you fall. He'll make your whole day go bad. He'll make your car not start. He'll do whatever it takes when you practicing impatience to make sure that you don't go that way, and you end up being frustrated if you operating from a place of being a brat, right? Being a brat instead of showing gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for ordering my steps. Thank you for protecting me. The Holy Spirit that's inside of you foresees it. Remember, the spirit realm can move around fluidly. They don't have to be anywhere at a specific time opening up a door. They just move fluidly. So it can see things down the road that you can't see. And it's to protect you. That's right. It's to protect you. So allow God to protect you by being discerning. And that's going to strengthen your discernment so that when people come to you and try to play on your top or play in your face, now you can easily discern what their motives is, because you're not easily tricked by yourself. You're not tricking yourself, so therefore you're not going to allow anything or anybody to come into your life and trick you and then wonder why you ain't see the red flags. Baby, they've been flying all along. They right here present for you. Those red flags that you've been seeing waving it like this, like a bull, you just been over there asleep like a bear. Ignoring every single sign and then saying, Lord, why did I go through this? This is a narcissist. Oh, this person hurt me. No, you saw the stuff. Being in the spirit, right? Being able to see the spirit and not the flesh. And that's how you strengthen it, by being truthful and honest with yourself about yourself when you take accountability. Okay. So it says, for there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and there is nothing buried that will not be raised. There is nothing hidden that won't be revealed. So if you're not seeking it, it'll always be there, but you just won't be able to reveal. It won't reveal itself to you until you're ready for the revelation. Do you want a revelation? Oh, I know it's a revolution, but that sounds better. Do you want a revelation? Ooh, ooh. I said, do you want a revelation? Ooh, ooh. Okay. Do you want it to be revealed to you? If you want things to be revealed to you easily like that, you have to be truthful and honest with yourself. And that is choosing you first. Being truthful to yourself. Honoring that the Holy Spirit that resides on the inside of you knows what's best for you. We try to be in fear and live in fear and to avoid death or avoid hardships and situations, and you walk right into it because you're holding the fear like this. You won't let it go. You won't be submissive. Yes, bless y'all, bless y'all. Okay, so it says, I ain't gonna even read no more, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, listen to this. It says, this verse, this number 6 in the Gospel of Thomas. Y'all, we reading the Gospel of Thomas, okay? It says, his disciples asked him and said to him, do you want us to fast? So now they trying to go into a fast where they're like, oh, let me cleanse my body out, get all the toxins out my body, get rid of what's in here, right? How should we pray? Now they concerned, right? And should we give to charity? Oh, we got to give some away because we feel guilty about you coming to us and telling us that we supposed to be walking in the spirit and not in the flesh. Now we feel bad, and we trying to change the trajectory of the situation by allowing our good deeds from that point to help us. But no, it was part of the deeds that you did of the past that determines your next moment. So that deed was already planted and it already harvested, right? Okay, so it says, what diet should we observe? And Jesus said, don't lie and don't do what you hate. So if you don't even like fasting, why are you lying to yourself? Why you lying? No, he said, don't lie. And don't do what you hate. You know you hate it. That's why you can't get through it. That's why you can't be consistent in your prayer life, because you hate it. You know you can't be consistent in your fasting. You can't even finish the fast. So, because you hate it. Don't lie to yourself. After all, there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed. And there is nothing covered up that will remain undisclosed. It's going to be revealed. It's going to be revealed. It's up to you to see it, all right? And that's from you choosing you first, that you're able to see the real deal, right? We focused on the truth, not the lies no more. Satan is operating in lies. So if you still living a lie, you're operating in the kingdom of Satan, and you're trying to cover yourself up with all these different masks. That's just, once God finished peeling all them layers of mask off of you, you're going to be naked, and it's going to have to be before God, just like Adam and Eve did in the garden when they found out that they was naked, and he appeared to them and said, why are you naked? I think that was a question that God really didn't need to answer, because he already knew the answer to it, but he wanted them to see for themselves, to think for themselves, to really process how they ended up there like that, knowing what they knew, right? Okay. It says, after all, there is nothing hidden. Okay, I read that. But that's what I got for y'all. So put yourself first. If y'all ain't gonna put yourself first, just keep living your life, doing what you're doing. But I know you want to put yourself first, because you're here. You are here. This video has found you, and you really at a place in your life where you're like, look, I have to learn how to choose me first. And that's going to require discipline on your part. It's going to require motivation too. But it's really going to have to require for you to be accountable with yourself. Be real with yourself for a minute and say, look, I know I messed up. I know I ain't been passing some of these tests that's been presented with me. But Lord, give me another opportunity to pass the test. But lead me and guide me where I can use the discernment that the Holy Spirit is giving me in order to pass that test, so that I can go to another level in life. This is new levels, baby. When it's new levels, it's going to be some new devils. So quit playing with the same old devil on that same old level. You should know his tricks by now. You've been playing them. You've been failing the test and been recognizing that it's the flesh. That's which part of the flesh you operating in. That's it. So now you got to think about this. All of these things have been going on in my life, right? And everything has been hitting me at once. Every single area you could imagine, Lord. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to write it down. And once I write down the areas that I've been passing tests, or I've been presented, I'm put it to you like this. There are some areas in your life that has presented themselves as struggle, or where you felt like you had to sacrifice yourself, or where it felt like the enemy was coming up against you in your life. I want you to take a moment and write down, right? Yes. Write down everything that you felt like, every battle you was faced with, just alone in this month, okay? Since we in a little bit. Write down everything that's been battling you, that you felt like's been coming up against you. And I want you to write down, what outcome have you given the situation? What was the outcome? Did you give that situation a piece of your flesh? I'm going to give it a piece of my mind. Who they think they talking to? Or did you give it a piece of your spirit? How did you respond to the situation that showed up in your life? And it's okay. If you responded in flesh, it's all right. God gives us do-overs. He'll give you another test. It's going to come. Trust you me. The other test is going to come and you may not know when. But if you start practicing on a day-to-day basis on how to master your triggers, right? How to walk in the spirit. When that test presents itself again, you will be able to pass with ease. Because now you're operating from the spirit all the time, not just when the test comes, right? You want to be prepared for your upcoming test, your final exam. Well, we don't want the final exam because you ain't ready to go yet. But you know what I'm saying? Just you want for the big test. That big Friday test they do in school. We're not the Wednesday practice test. It's the big Friday test that they have to make sure that you've learned that lesson and completed that chapter. That's exactly the one you want. That one right there. Yes. So write it down. If you operated in your flesh, and I want you to turn it into a positive. Okay, if I'm presented with this situation again, how can I handle it in the future based on the spirit? So then you put yourself in a mindset. Before you answer that question, you say, okay, look, okay, this last situation, that person put me through this or said this to me probably because they was really hurt about something else. Like, we take offense so easily, but we really don't look at what's behind the offense. Like, what was the person really trying to communicate with us? Because people that really don't care don't communicate with us. They just shut us down. They shut down and they walk away, or they're done with it. They don't have nothing left to say, right? Nothing left to say. It's not gonna make me love you, right? Life's gonna test you first and see if you catch a lesson. Yes, exactly. So it's up to you to always be prepared. Hunker down and embrace yourself for when that test comes. So you got to start practicing on how you're going to respond from here on out whenever you are faced with adversity. Because it's inevitable. It's inevitable for you to have tests. Life gonna always present tests to you. But when it starts showing up and you start responding according to the wave instead of going against the grain, it's gonna work out a lot more smoother, and the devil ain't gonna have no win on that one. Like, you gonna defeat that enemy real good, y'all. Okay, the weapon gonna form, but the devil gonna have to go back to the pits of hell, right? He gonna scatter him and his imps, okay? And he ain't about to bring 7 more, especially if you done fixed yourself and got yourself together and worked hard on yourself. You're not about to go back and let the devil and his imps come, because what did they say? They come 7 times 7 when they return, huh? They trying to find that open vessel in you when they return. So don't allow them to come back, because they're going to bring many more. They're going to bring legions, right? And then it's going to be harder to get rid of them, because what's going to happen is the minute you decide, I want to eat some snacks again, I want to fall off my new habit of eating. Because see, when you go to a diet, diets are tricky, because you're going to go back to your regular style of eating instead of changing your whole lifestyle. So diets are tricky. So when it comes back and you start to pick up the sugar, them legions going to come with it. 7 times 7, them legions is coming. Next thing you know, you drinking Kool-Aid, okay? Next thing you know, you making that Kool-Aid every day. Next thing you know, you eating all of this processed food. Next thing you know, your body is finding more sugars to feed it, right? Because now you done picked it back up. So it's best to just stay on track and stop going through fads and phases and create a lifestyle. This is your way of living, right? Choosing you first all the time. Making sure that you are paying attention. You are aware of everything that presents itself in your life. And then to realize that God is going to get the final say so, and it's going to be his will. And he's going to always make you shine and look good in the process, baby. Look, I ain't got to worry about things. God got my back over here. I'm going to just sit pretty. And Lord, you going to handle that for me? Lord, I'm going to just give you praise, okay? I can't control it. I'm not going to try to. I'm just going to sit pretty and have my Eve experience in the garden. My Garden of Eve experience, you know what I'm saying? So, don't be stressing about it. Just changing your perspective. That's it. Just change your perspective. I know that's right, girl. Wow. That's it right there. You got to choose you first. Choose you. That's it. Nothing else even matters. Cause why? You don't care. I don't want to care. I don't talk about it. Same people you used to want to be around before. Now you thinking, you sitting back and looking like, why did I want to be around you? Ew. What was I thinking when I wanted to be in your presence, huh? I know y'all got a couple people y'all can sit back and think about when y'all first met them, but y'all thought it was everything in the world. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got it. Lord, thank you for the blessing. I don't know where it came from, but I just say thank you, Lord. I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to love it and hold it forever and forever. And then when that thing start coming up against you, baby, and it's like the devil sent this thing in here. Now you like, devil, how you send this thing in? God, why you said the devil send this in? And it's like, God, like I ain't saying that from the beginning. You the one when start crazy. So it's just now you looking at that person and you like you done outgrew so much. You be like, ugh, I liked it you at one point. Ugh, what did I see in you? Ugh, what? I wanted to be your friend. But that's because you grow. But as long as you are still in the same thing and doing the same thing that they doing and you in your old habits and routines, you don't see the difference. It look cool. You know what I'm saying? Until you decide to make a decision or walk away. Now you see it for what it really is. And you like, whew, thank you, Lord. Whew, I don't want to go back to that. Ooh, they act so crazy. Even if it's your friends, you be like, oh, they act so crazy when they go out to the clubs. Oh my goodness, I can't go out with them no more, Lord. They always embarrassing me. Ooh. But before, when you was out there doing your 1-2, it was all fun and games and kick. And you wish somebody would. You gonna jump in for your girls or your guys or what have you. Or somebody tried to step to them. And then now you looking at them like, oh my goodness, let me just... Can't nobody see me, can I? I'm trying to hurry and get out of here and go home. You driving your own car now because you just don't want to be bothered with people. You changing. But it's going to really require you to say, you know what? Enough is enough. I don't even want to be in the same room as you. I don't even want to waste my time involving myself with you no more because I'm not there. And I'm not on the fence about it. See, that's when you be on the fence. When you be embarrassed, but you just like, I got to go with them anyway. Dang it. I got to hang out with this person. But when you get off that fence and you choose a side and stay there, you looking at that person like, no, you can't play nobody's fool. No more. Don't play nobody's fool. This is your life. Show up and be the main character for your story. Because at the end of the day, I would hate for you to live a life and you said, well, I played this role for everybody else and I wasn't the main. When you the main character, like we was watching Annie, y'all. She the main character. And here it is. I'm looking at this opportunity. It's standing right in front of me. She took that stage and she lit up, baby. She handled it. She stepped into full character and she operated and gave it her best and her all because she recognized the opportunity that was there for her and she ain't trying to feed her pearls to no swine. Yeah, she ain't trying to feed her pearls to no swine. She took advantage of her moment for herself. Yes, everybody gonna play the fool sometime, but you can't keep playing it now. You gotta learn when you're playing the fool and you gotta wake up and say, I've been a fool long enough, right? I can't do it no more. I done did it, and I'm not about to keep doing it. And then now, when you do it for one person and they get away with it, now you set up them boundaries. That's when them boundaries come into place where you like, okay, ain't nobody else. You get standards for people in relationships and stuff because of what other people did when they hurt you, right? So when they hurt you, now you done created these boundaries that you could just create from the beginning. Oh no, this person did it this way. I ain't like it, so now I don't want nobody that snore. This person used to just didn't leave the toilet seat up all the time. Used to leave the toilet seat up. I don't want nobody like that no more. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep playing the fool for nobody. We got to put boundaries up and standards, and we got to stand on it. Stop trying to go with this biological clock that we trying to keep up with, because there's no clock. There's no time in God. He can move exceedingly and abundantly fast, right? He can move above all. He can move a mountain in a split of a second, just like we can change a habit. Just like we can make a decision, God makes a decision just that quickly. So don't focus on your time clock. Don't focus on whatever it is that you went through. Or matter of fact, everything that other people did to you in your past relationships, let it go. Just master the art of detachment. Just master the art of detachment. And that way, when you don't have no expectations for people, they can't let you down. God moves on his own time, which ain't time. Exactly. His time ain't our time. We working on what? What is it? Whoever time it is. But yes. So go ahead. Get ready to pass that next test. Decide to choose you first. Create no schedules. Implementing ways to really love you. You've loved everybody else enough. You've given them more than enough love. And they've mistook that love and abused it. They mistook your love and they tried to make you turn off your love button from loving people from a God space. You know what I mean? So when you right. So when we allow people to do that, use us over and over again, we don't really allow God to use us. We don't allow God to put the right people into place that can love us the way that we need to be loved, not the way we want to be lusted or the way we think we want to be loved, right? So we want to make sure that we are first operating in God so that he will bring in the right people and we're not impatiently rushing to have people in our lives, whether that be friends, family, relationships, co-workers, wherever, jobs, whatever it is. You want to be at the right place at the right time at all times in God. But it requires for you to love yourself, to show up for yourself every day. Protect that inner child in you. It requires you to love the inner child and protect that inner child in you that nobody may have protected as a child when you were a child, right? It's your turn. It's your turn to protect that child, to make sure that no harm comes to it, no ridicule comes to it. But it requires work on your part. And that's saying, I love me. I love myself. I bet you can't look in the mirror and say it to yourself and really mean it. Just look in the mirror at yourself every day when you wake up and say, I love you. You are so precious to me. You are worthy of everything that God said that you can have. And I'm going to make sure I fulfill everything on my part and allow God to do the rest, to make sure that you get what God says you have earned. Whatever the desires of your heart is, God is wanting you to have it, and I want you to have it too. So therefore, because I say I love you, I am going to show you my love. And you walk away from that mirror and put you first. You said you couldn't get out the mirror. Ain't nothing like being in the mirror when you got a fresh hairdo. Listen, if you got that fresh hairdo with it when you look in that mirror too, oh my goodness, and you tell yourself, I love you, or you got that new outfit, or it's just something exuding in there to start you off. And then once you do it every single day and you look at yourself, it's like, I just know. I just know what they know. I love me. And loving you is going to require for some people to be hurt, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, they are choosing them. Whatever their motive is for your life, that they showing up for you, that's because they love themselves enough to let you do it for them, to let you move on their behalf, right? They want you to play God in their life when you searching and seeking God for yourself. No more playing God for other people, but allow the God that's what's inside of you to fully operate and to fully exert itself out for the masses to be able to see through you. Let your light shine ever so bright. Your light can't shine when you always frustrated. Your light can't shine when people rejecting you. Your light can't shine when people keep coming up against you. Get yourself out of them environments. Choose peace. Choose love. Choose you. But choose God most importantly, right? That's the first one. Choose God the most. Oh shoot. Okay. Go ahead, girl. Get it, girl. Get it, get it, get it, get it, girl. That's the way to go, y'all. So, yes, we are having the book club tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you there, y'all. I'm about to go back on my little, what they call it? They call it over there in the world, in the spiritual world, sabbatical or something. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm learning. I go through the same lessons that y'all go through. So listen, I'm human, you know, and I gotta go through all of these lessons as well. But one thing I can say is that the only difference between the outcomes in my lessons is my perspective. It's my perspective about the situation. And I'm human, so I'm gonna think on a fleshly level, right? That's gonna be my first instinct. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna react on that level in my mind. That don't mean I have to play that reaction out in the physical form. Because before it gets to that physical form, you want to make sure that you're operating from a spiritual place. So therefore, you got to rethink about it over and over and over again until your perception changes, and then you want to release it to the world. Because some things that can appear as things that's blocking you or blockages can actually be things that you've been praying for all along. Like, you may look at a situation from a negative, but it may have been something that you might have wanted to connect with people, or you may have wanted to connect with a specific person, and your prayer is being answered. It's just not coming in a way that you expected it to come, right? So everything in life is about perspective and just understanding it from learning from God's perspective too. Like, what if this is showing up in my life and I know I didn't cause it on myself? What, and even if you did cause it on yourself, but what is the reason that God is presenting this to me at this moment, right here and right now? And it's because He knows that you are ready to deal with the test. You can either choose to put it to the side again, but it's gonna come back. But you can always face it right then and there. But just understand why God is bringing it to you at that point and learn the lesson from it. And that's what's really putting you first, to understand the lesson in everything so that you can grow. And then you can teach the people that's around you through your actions, the new you. We could tell somebody all day long, I changed. I go to church now. I changed, y'all. I'm a changed person. But if them actions ain't lining up, baby, just like you can see through other people and they BS, they can see through yours. Yeah, they sure can. Because they watching just like you watching. Everybody observing. So just make sure you choosing you first. And letting people know that you standing on business. Okay? You gonna be there tonight? All right. Well, thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in. I'm about to go take care of some other business. I got to focus on me, choose me, right? So that means I got to do what I need to do to make sure that my life steadily runs on a positive vibration. That helps me to be able to function day to day. It's like being your own boss when you decide to be free. You got to govern yourself. All right? So, until next time, y'all, choose you. Put you first. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love all y'all. Make sure you put yourself first. Until next time, let's grow.